Hello and welcome to this KVR News Update for Monday, September 2nd. I'm Cathryn Walker.
And I'm Brianna Tucker. Thanks for joining us.
Nearly 700 new laws are now in effect across the state of Texas. The bills became law Sunday after a legislative session that lasted nearly 7 months and included 3 special sessions. The new laws range from regulations on water districts to new procedures for rape investigations, and they also include a new state budget. Some of the most notable laws focus on traffic, education, and guns. The new traffic laws require drivers to have 2 license plates on their vehicle, front and back. Those without 2 plates face up to a $200 fine. Penalties for passing a stop school bus are on the rise, up to a maximum of $1,250. Lawmakers reduced the number of standardized tests high school students need to take to graduate. The number was lowered from 15 to just 5. There have also been updates to concealed handgun laws. The amount of training required to possess a gun has been cut in half, and license holders can now renew their licenses online.
A safety alert is out at Texas State University after 2 students were robbed at gunpoint. Separate robberies occurred on the campus of Texas State early Friday morning. No arrests have been made, but police believe both robberies were committed by the same person. It's a reminder to all students on college campuses to be aware of their surroundings when alone at night. This past July, a UT student was kidnapped from West Campus and sexually assaulted. She was driven to an unknown location and eventually released. The city of Austin is joining a lawsuit opposing the state's voter ID laws. Austin City Council voted last Thursday to join lawsuits opposing the photo ID requirement. The recently revived law requires voters to show a photo ID in addition to their voter registration card to cast a ballot. The photo ID requirement was previously considered unconstitutional because it limited minority voter access. Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott reinstated the law after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down part of the Voting Rights Act back in July. Austin City Council is worried that residents who have recently moved or changed marital status may not have updated their forms of ID, meaning they won't be eligible to vote. Currently, 1 of 7 forms of photo ID is required when you show up at the polls. They include a Texas driver's license, a personal identification card, a concealed handgun license, and a U.S. passport. To avoid issues with the ID requirements, city officials are working to establish places where voters can secure a provisional ID before the November 5th elections.
The Obama administration is pushing forward on a path that could potentially lead to military action in Syria. Secretary of State John Kerry said on Sunday that tests have found evidence of sarin gas at the site of an alleged chemical weapons attack in the Syrian capital. The Syrian regime, led by President Bashar al-Assad, is denying using chemical weapons on its people. Meanwhile, the United Nations is urging world leaders to wait until UN investigators determine whether chemical weapons were used before launching an attack. A UN spokesman said, "The UN mission is uniquely capable of establishing in an impartial and credible manner the facts of any use of chemical weapons. No timeline has been given on when the results will be ready, but the UN stresses it's being done as fast as it is possible to do within the scientific constraints." Former South African President Nelson Mandela has been discharged from the hospital. He was admitted back in June for a lung infection. Mandela remains in critical condition. His doctors say he will receive the same level of intensive care at home as he did in the hospital. Mandela was South Africa's first black president, putting an end to apartheid, which had been placed in the country for nearly half a century. Mandela is 95 years old.
Thousands of Longhorn fans packed the Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium Saturday, and now more fans will be able to watch the action in the remaining season from the comfort of their own homes. ESPN and Time Warner Cable announced Friday that the Longhorn Network is now available to Time Warner subscribers in Texas. The 24-hour channel was launched 2 years ago and has been highly criticized for its lack of availability on major cable providers. The new deal means the Longhorn Network is now available in 11.4 million households across the country. The channel will now carry 2 more UT football games later this season against Ole Miss and Kansas. Wednesday marks the 2-year anniversary of the massive wildfire that ravaged Bastrop County. 2 people died in the fire that burned at least 32,000 acres, including much of Bastrop State Park. Nearly 1,700 homes and businesses were destroyed, along with more than 1.5 million trees. Forestry officials are urging people to take caution to avoid starting a wildfire. The Texas A&M Forest Service shows 143 counties across Texas are currently under a burn ban. That's more than half of the state's counties. Travis County and those in the surrounding area do have a burn ban in effect. That does include Bastrop County.
Well, temperatures are going to remain hot through the whole week. Highs will hover just below the triple-digit mark. There is a small chance of a shower or storm overnight tonight into Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies will then return on Wednesday and remain through the rest of the week. The ongoing drought is having a ripple effect throughout central Texas. Low water levels on area lakes are affecting local businesses. Popular restaurant Carlos and Charles is on the shores of Lake Travis and closing its doors for the last time today. The restaurant announced its closure a few weeks ago after 20 years of relying mostly on boat traffic to bring in customers. Owners are auctioning off merchandise from the restaurant today. A percentage of the proceeds will be donated to the Central Texas Water Coalition to support their efforts with maintaining the Highland Lakes. Lake Travis has dropped to 621 feet, the lowest elevation in 50 years.
The city of Austin is bracing for a tsunami, a silver tsunami that is. Most of us think of Austin as a young city, but we've also got the nation's fastest growing population of people between the ages of 55 and 65. It's estimated that by 2040, 1 in 5 Austin residents will be over the age of 65. Mayor Lee Leffingwell hopes to expand meal programs in the city like Meals on Wheels and also focus on policies related to transportation, affordable housing, and affordable taxes. Over the next 2 decades, more than a quarter of the U.S. population will reach the age of 65. Well, 11-year-old Carson Huey has a long way to go until he reaches a retirement age, but that doesn't mean he's not growing up fast. Unlike most other kids his age, Carson isn't out shopping for typical 6th grade school supplies. Instead, he's tackling his freshman year at the Texas Christian University. That makes him the youngest undergrad student to attend the college. Carson scored a 1770 on his SAT, and he hopes to get his PhD in physics before he's 20. Carson is currently enrolled in physics, calculus, history, and religious classes at TCU. He'll be attending those classes with his mother.
Well, most of us have seen Miley Cyrus's performance at the VMAs by now. But if you still don't know what twerking is, you can now look it up in the dictionary. Several new words entered the Oxford English Dictionary on Wednesday. Many may sound familiar because they're considered tech talk and millennial slang. Along with twerking, other new additions include derp, emoji, food baby, guac, and selfie.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight for this KVR News Update. I'm Brianna Tucker.
I'm Cathryn Walker. For more news updates throughout the day, you can follow us at twitter.com/KVR News.